Okie doke. Leo. I know that you, Cancer, Virgo, and everybody else besides Aries, Taurus, and Pisces got cardstock thrown at them. So this week I'll make sure you'll be getting, these thrown at you. No, not really. I'm not going to do that because throwing this pile of cardstock at my phone is not the most optimal thing to do. So we'll just go at it this way. So the way that my workings work is the first goddess to come out of this oracle deck is the one that favors you. The one to follow after that is the one you must seek out or get the guidance from or embody her qualities much more. And then last but certainly not least, the good old lovely third one, which is the goddess that is going to be telling you, it is just so hard not to slap you because I really hope you didn't forget that because you're acting like you forgot this vital life skill. The one that's telling you, please don't forget this. And then after that, we can then scooch over to the tarot. And then we'll go from there. So the goddess in power, or the one who favors you, is her scale for corrosion. Okay, looks like we're going to be a little bit sassy and feisty this week, kitty. Sometimes you gotta remind people who's the real king, queen in power. Well, sometimes you gotta remind them, roar at them. You must seek out Hecate for protection. And last but not least, you mustn't forget Lilith for equality. Okie doke. So, Leo, looks like we're going to be getting a little feisty this week. Looks like. Oh boy. Oh well. There's a reason why you guys got claws anyway. Okie doke. So, in power, end of this week, you actually have a means to actually kind of relay a message like, listen, there's a reason why I'm the king. There's a reason why. And if you don't piss it, and if you don't stop being stupid, I'm going to have to, show you why I'm known as the king. Because I can handle myself, and I'm going to relay a message from my well-being to your face. And give you a good whack. Because her scale did, she actually blackmailed somebody to gain and keep her standing, if I remember correctly, for the Sumerian religion. But the way that she is, you actually might have to do that this week. Or you might have to be careful of the theme of blackmail and corrosion might be coming to you. But what I'm getting at is that you're going to be doing it to somebody else to make sure that your standing and your well-being is better. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do to make sure you're doing well. It is what it is. You must seek out Hecate for protection. And this actually is pretty good when you're going to be, swinging at somebody's reputation. Or if something is swinging at your reputation, having divine protect you. Just make sure that in all avenues where this corrosion can happen, or destruction, just make sure that you're going to be able to withstand it pretty well and have divinities backing you up. Like, say for an example, if you're invested in something and you're kind of at that state that's like, okay, you know what? This prick over here is not really, being fair give and take and not really respecting the king / queen. Not really, respecting authority over here, so I'm going to have to remind him that, look, I'm not the one you mess with, but just to be safe, I'm going to make sure that I'm pretty protected and I'm safe, and that nothing can come and hit me upside the head. Because especially, if I've invested in something for so long, And if I was promised something, yeah, I kind of want to have, I really want to have those cupcakes I was promised. And if I was promised them and I haven't gotten the cupcakes yet, so it looks like Divinity's going to help me get me the cupcakes. Because in the end, we have Lilith in the end, the one we mustn't forget. Lilith is one who is not really the best one to think you can bamboozle or get across and think that, oh, I'm just gonna trick her and mess with her. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. That's not a good idea. Because the way that Lilith would respond to this, and I mean, I work with Lilith and I'm kind of close with her, and I mean, I'm already getting input in the back of my head. But anyway, God. Pretty much, if you're promised something, if you promised her something, she's going to be the one that's like, so, you want to know why then, nobody likes you, kid? Yeah. The reason why is because you kind of don't keep up with your promises. And, that thing between your legs is never going to get sucked if you don't keep promises that you make. Sorry, dude. I mean, I don't want it because why would I want something that's not reliable? That's how feisty she is and how sassy she gets. But just like in the story of her and Adam, when she left the Garden of Eden and refused to be raped, lo and behold, she gets vengeance by, assassinating Adam. So how this relates to you is that if somebody did you wrong and you need to blackmail them or do something like that, well, at the end of the day, don't forget that turnabout is fair play. And sometimes the best way to teach somebody a lesson is to actually put them in a situation where they don't do that BS move again. Just make sure that everything that you get back, that you put out, you get back. And especially if you're having to do something a little bit harsh, whoops. That's all I gotta say. Because there's absolutely nothing wrong with, kind of being a little bit painful in hopes of actually teaching a lesson and to actually hope someone learns from it and grows from it, than just, be painful because you can be painful. There's a difference. And the deck you'll be having alongside those goddesses is going to be the Dark Angels Tarot, or as I like to call it, the Winged Aerobics Instructor Tarot. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of a weird thing to call it, but it's either that or the Very Dark Pigeon Man, whichever works. So for the spread for the Tarot, it's going to be an Elemental Cross spread with 3 advice cards at the end. So regarding the financials and the health sector, regarding your stability, wealth, and everything that is your 3D reality and all of that whoop-de-woo, we have the 9 of Wands. This depiction, we have a man standing on a tree and he's surrounded by twigs. So in this state, you actually might be having your guards up regarding having an illness, or you actually might be very cautious about how you're going about your finances right now, or because, some people don't really understand about how to, make sure that, we stay nice and healthy and stop being stupid during a potential pandemic. Maybe we should, use our head a little bit more and keep our walls up and protect ourselves more. So this week you might be a little bit more cautious about how you put yourself out there in front of society and in front of people this week. Or you actually maybe quarantining yourself just to make sure you don't get afflicted. Or actually staying at home with someone who's afflicted or having an illness to make sure that they're well. Because the 9 of Wands is the card of somebody having their walls up to protect themselves or somebody else. Now, regarding your communications, intelligence, memory, and pretty much interacting with other people, we have the King of Pentacles. This depiction, we kind of have a very... We kind of have a bit of a very kind of vain-looking guy who kind of thinks he's kind of, he thinks he's hot, but he kind of, it's kind of odd, honestly, because he thinks he's the king, but he's outside his castle. So, this week you actually may be... You may actually be giving advice to somebody regarding their finances and their wealth and their health. And you may be in a place that's far away or different from where they are at. So consider maybe possibly talking to somebody online or over the phone that's a long distance, and you're giving counsel to them regarding pentacle matters like their health, financial standing, their investments, and the whatnot. And you're going to be seen as a very grounding, realistic, practical figure. But at the same time, too, that might be where the corrosion comes in. Because you might be facing someone trying to blackmail you or trying to mess with your finances when you're not aware of it, like somebody thinking that doing identity theft's a good idea. Please don't do that. That's not a good idea, and that's a federal offense, and you'll be in deep doo-doo once you get caught, and you will get caught. I'm just saying, don't do it. And you'll actually be able to get vengeance on them, because, I mean, I have to say, because Lilith is there, and she thinks, oh, you're gonna take my wealth, huh? Okay. Oh, it's okay. No, honey, you can have it for now, and when you least expect it, you'll just stop moving. That's just how she is. She'll let you think that you got one on her, and you've got away with it, but before you know it, you'll just take a few blinks, and all of a sudden, now your screen's black. That's just how she is. And it'll happen when you least expect it, or just whenever it happens. Well. But just make sure that you're perfectly prepared, that you're still going to be able to give grounding advice or communicate in a way that's very grounded, practical, realistic, and not often fantasy woozy-woo land. So now for your fire sector, for that, where's your challenges, or what's going to give you the zest of your energy this week, or bring more bang to your life? I don't know how the way to put it. So, for the Flamin' section, we have His Holiness the Pope, the Hierophant. Okay. For this week, what's going to bring you zest is going to be actually being able to be giving counsel. And also kind of guiding people. But at the same time, too, since I'm not a person who's very fond of the Hierophant, honestly, because I see the Hierophant as a figure that likes to just pretty much give advice and counsel in a way that's just like, hey, everybody, pay attention to me. I'm like the guru. Notice me instead. I know what to do. And if you actually know how it is to do that over in India, they'll look at you and be like, okay. Oh, yeah, you're totally the guru. Yeah, you're totally the guru. Yeah, don't worry. No, we believe you. We think you're very wise. Make sure that the counsel you give is actually going to be very substantial and actually has stuff backing it up. But at the same time, too, being able to help people and guide people. And also at the same time, too, reminding people that, look, just because, you can be in a situation where you can do something stupid, don't do it. Because divinity, excuse me, divinity isn't always nice. And divinity isn't always gentle. Divinity can really whack you one. pretty hard. So don't be stupid. Somebody who is in a higher standing than you can take advantage of you. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. Remind them that, okay, you're gonna swing me one? Fine. Okay, doke. Oh no, don't worry. I'm not gonna say a word. But when the back's turned, that's when you pretty much jump on them like a puma and then ravage them to death. Ravage, like claw them to death. Not like radish them, like, oh boy, we're gonna just throw radishes at them. Because that makes logical sense. Intuitive work, psychic work, and all that stuff. Mental health. All of that. We have the Ace of Pentacles. So in this week, expect regarding your emotions and feelings to be a lot more stable and practical and logical. And expect things to be more stable regarding your emotions and things being more abundant regarding your finances, wealth, health, well-being, and the whatnot. That's pretty much what I got for that one. Nothing really else comes to mind. And also your health might be recovering a lot more regarding your mental and emotional health. That might be having a big recovery this week. So your 3 advice cards. 3 of Swords. Page of Swords. And the Emperor. Alrighty then. So, advice this week. I mean, I'm getting kind of like point blank to the face. It won't be, Really, dude? How about we turn our music down a little bit and not, have it be like loud enough that we're giving everybody a vibrator. Sorry, I just had to do that. Page of Swords. 3 of Swords. And the Emperor. Well, I'm getting that. Okay. Keep tabs on everybody that you have suspicion is out to mess with you. Kind of, stab them in the feels pretty hard. Because the weakest point of somebody is their feelings and their emotions. That's the weakest one. Because like the whole thing would be like, oh, that's offensive. Good. And besides, thanks for telling me what's offensive to you so I can keep stabbing it to death. It's dark, harsh, but you don't ever, 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 ever tell anybody your weaknesses. Don't do it. Because the thing is, when you tell that to someone, they're just going to take their stabby McStab thing and then just stab you repeatedly with it and not stop. They won't stop. They'll just keep poking you with it. That's just how it is. So don't tell people what makes you go, oh, my feels, that really hurt. No. Just be all, okay. You think you're being cool by just hitting me. Okay, well then as soon as their back turns, right in the back of the neck. Because doing so will kind of leave that image of like, look, I'm not new here. Since you're new here, let me remind you who the real Emperor is. Because, Leo, again, is the king figure or queen figure. And you don't mess with that figure. And just make sure when you relay the messages like this, that you kind of bring an understanding that, let's just not mess with me. Because pretty much that's the whole message I'm really getting from all this. Stand your ground, keep your ground, and not be afraid to, shank somebody. Not literally, but pretty much let it be known that, look, don't mess with me, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. Because in the end, I will get my vengeance. So don't mess with me.